Good morning, family. How we doing? Hopefully having a great and exceptional day. It's Saturday. I said I was going to go live more on Facebook and do what I got to do at the end of the day. And it's such a beautiful day out. I got to run some errands. You have the stuff you can do. You can just call up Amazon or whatnot or DoorDash. I'm like, but why waste the money on delivery fees when you don't have to? That's my mindset. But what do I know? Like I said, I remember during the pandemic lockdown, there were certain instances where you had no choice. You couldn't go to certain stores. The only store you could go to was a grocery store. The grocery stores made out, Walmart, Target, places like that. And like I said, I feel so rejuvenated from having just basically a me day yesterday. I feel like $1 million right now, So, but sometimes you just need to, be able to get up and do you and not worry about a thing. See the old man's outside getting his walk on, kids outside playing. Didn't even think that's a rarity in 2025 to see kids out and about first thing on Saturday. Because that was what it was, when I was a kid on Saturday morning. To be in the house was a nightmare, To be in the house was a nightmare. To get out and about was life. So that was the biggest punishment. You can't go nowhere, And that's what stuff like that kept me in line. It was like, oh no, man, we got to act right, because if we don't act right, we can't go outside. And it fascinates me, like with technology, it's the gift and the curse. I didn't even realize how in today's day and age, people really talk to themselves more than they talk to other people, more than any other generation in human history. Because I'm talking to my cell phone right now. I'm not talking to anybody. And I'm at the most comfortable and the most peace when I'm talking on my cell phone instead of talking to other people face to face. And that's just the introvert in me. People say that's the January Capricorn in me, because if you met me in public, if you saw me in public, you would probably think this guy's a jerk. This guy thinks he's all that. This guy was walking around like he's about to fight somebody. I remember I was told that one time by one of the people that work in the gym. It was like, you look like you about to fight. But the gym manager's like, no, he's just concentrated. And that's just what it is. When I'm in public, I'm in public for a purpose. I'm not in public to just be out and about trying to get attention. And, I can use social media for that if I wanted to. But I'm not out in public to hang out. Things of that nature. Because one gentleman, I don't know this brother's name, but his content is pretty popular, and he has his own opinions, and that's what it is. Supposed to be able to have your own opinion, whether you agree with somebody or not. My mindset is, if you're always agreeing with somebody, that means you're a yes man or yes woman, and you shouldn't want to ever be a yes man or a yes woman. And if you do, just do it, like for anybody who has a job, you're doing it because you're trying to get paid. So if there's some money involved, then you need to do what you got to do at the end of the day. But to want to just be around somebody to just be a yes person, it's kind of sad unless, like I said, you're getting access to some capital, you're getting access to some relationships that could take your life to the next level. Then that's just a different story. Because sometimes, in this life, you got to do what you got to do. The whole fake it till you make it concept is a real thing. So I just keep it real on that one. But brother was like, grown men don't have a group of friends and whatnot. They don't hang out with people. And I'm just like, well, in certain instances, yes, but in certain instances, no, because I'm like, a great example, a lot of times I see men because like I said, one thing I could probably take that out of context, because it's like, okay, well, my whole thing is, what if these group of men that I'm hanging out with are talking about money? Well, they're talking about the best investments, assets to buy, like, cryptos, stocks, bonds, real estate purchases, businesses to look into opening up, partnering up with, things of that nature. I would want to be around that circle of men, because with that circle of men, hey, we can make some moves. And then if we can want to go out and do something social, that's even better, at the same time, we can have fun and we can make some money moves. So it's like, it's all about context. Now, if I'm just hanging out with men and all they want to do is chase some women and talk about sports, then I'm gone, Because that's something I could do by myself. I want to watch a football game, I could watch a football game by myself. If I wanted to go chase a female, I could go chase a female by myself. I don't need a group of men to do that. And it's sad to say, they call the man babies, Men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they act like they still in their 20s or they in their teens, late teens and whatnot. Where they see a good-looking woman walk by and they just lose all cognizant dissonance, all thought processes, etc. and so forth. Like, especially the ones that don't, a lot of old men, when they get older, they don't get out as much. And when I say get out, I'm talking about like just go to a restaurant. I'm not talking about going to a nightclub or anything of that nature, but just get out and do something. Look at great example, there's this older gentleman walking by. I'm on a major road right now in Woodbridge, Virginia, and he's walking, getting his morning walk on, It's because walking is the best exercise anybody can get. It's the most natural exercise anybody can get. I mean, back in medieval times, people didn't run for the sake of running. Like this one brother, he's jogging right now for exercise, but, the most natural exercise anybody can get is just walking. I actually do like walking. Walking and swimming. The most natural exercise that won't beat up on your body as much. And, that's just the best thing to do first thing in the morning. You keep your body going, keep yourself healthy, Lounging around on a couch all day and whatnot is not it. I don't know how people do it. Like, even when I'm on vacation, I can't just lay around and not do nothing. It's just not who I am. I've learned that about myself. Like, during the pandemic, I had no choice but to sit around for a little bit because we were on lockdown and whatnot, but, working out, those couple of months of working out from the house, and I'm glad at that time I had a home gym, and then from Amazon I was able to buy some more stuff to add to my home gym. So yeah, it's just like things of that nature. But, I got to stay on the move. But anyways, back to the story. The brother was talking about, my man was talking about, men that's not supposed to have a circle of friends and whatnot, hang out with people. And I'm just like, no, I think it's normal for people wanting to hang out with each other, but let the hanging out be as normal as, not just going out to get your drink on, to get high and whatnot, and just do frivolous stuff. You need to be around people that can help you grow. I mean, the thing is, even though I'm introverted, I actually do like being around people because I like to learn. I can watch all the podcasts in the world, but even with AI, nothing beats human interaction. Okay? Yeah, I'm having a good time having this conversation while I'm on my way to running my errands and whatnot, and I'm having a good time talking. Obviously, you see I'm driving, that's why I'm not looking at the camera. I'm having a good time having a discussion. That place is for sale. Dang. The Republican headquarters of Prince William County is for sale. And I had that place they probably got, this whole area is changing. So, anyways, but yeah, it's just like, see, me, like I said, most of my circle of friends don't even live in my hometown because I like to engage with men that want to. See, I don't mind going out and get my drink on and talking some trash, go to a comedy show, go to a concert, even go to a game, even though I'm not a big sports guy. But I'm not big on just being around men that just want to talk about sports and chasing females. That's a dead end for me. That doesn't do nothing for me, shout out to my coworker Reggie. He's got me in a WhatsApp app group, and he's always talking about the best stock plays and the best crypto plays and things of that nature, best asset classes to invest in. I like to be around people like that. My homeboy James, one of my best friends, he lives in LA. He put me on game in regards to, he's actually one that talked me into investing into crypto, and opening up an individual retirement account, which is something, you can invest into. And when you get older, you can utilize that money. You can roll that money over into a stock portfolio. You can roll that money into a self-directed IRA, which is something that most business people utilize. You can roll that, or you can just utilize that money. You can borrow from that if you need an emergency fund or for your business, or you can just utilize it for when you want to retire. So, and I'm not giving out financial advice. I'm just talking about what I do. So don't say I'm giving out financial advice. I just talk about what I do. So, my football is money. So, and it's not to show off, because I ain't bought a car in 20 years. The car I got now is a 2000 Ford Crown Victoria, and I bought it in 2005 when it had 23,000 miles on it. And I ain't bought a new vehicle since. I got this car and I got a Toyota Camry. So I ain't never had a car payment, and that's the only thing I'll brag about. Okay, so especially in today's world, son of a bitch, freaking drivers. Jesus Christ. Sorry, y'all. Jesus Christ. Always something with these freaking drivers. Jokers can't wait to slam on their brakes. Anyways, lost my train of thought. But anyways, so yeah. So you're having a circle of men to connect with, that can help elevate your life to the next level, and just be able to kick back, have a cigar, have a drink with. If you smoke weed, I don't do that. Whatever, because everybody needs to have some leisure time every now and then. Hell, even the well-to-do, have time where they just kick back and relax. I mean, whether you like the ultra mega rich or not, that's why they have their own private country clubs. That's why they live in their private communities where they have their private armed security guards and whatnot, basically their own police forces and whatnot, because they want to be able to go to venues, places where regular everyday working people like you and I aren't allowed to have access to unless we're working there. Because they, got to kick back and relax. You can't just work all the time. I'm all for, because, nowadays a lot of people, all they do is work because they things are just so expensive and whatnot. A lot of it is due to people just starting out in life, because I remember when I was starting out in my 20s, I was working, 2 jobs for like 5 years, and I worked 3 jobs for like 1 year. And that's back when I had like no life, but I had an economic purpose in my life at that time. So I could say that much. I had an economic purpose to where it was really that serious. I had an economic purpose to where I was trying to handle business, I had the economic purpose to where I was trying to, people in the race against time and ain't going nowhere. But I had the economic purpose to where I was, trying to buy my own place, get my own, get another car, because I've always bought a car cash money. So I had a purpose in life to make moves. All right, today, not tomorrow. Thank you for driving. And heck, even back then, I lived with my mom as long as I could because I was trying to save money. This whole notion you got to leave the house by the time you're 18, 19, miss me with that, especially in today's world. Shoot, because especially if you moving out of your parents' house and you ain't got a couple thousand, I'm gonna say at least 5,000, but at the most you should have up to 10 to 15,000 in savings, and you should have at least 1 to 2 credit cards in case an emergency happens. Then what's the point of you moving out and ended up being in a poorhouse? Because I see so many people on TikTok making videos in regards to, unfortunately, they're making videos in regards to they're scraping by and they should have never moved out of their parents' house, So that's why I said it's like, forget, and a lot of people just do it because of status. This whole thing called status, I'll be crossing the street or what? This whole thing of status is overrated, because I always say it's just like trying to impress people. Why? Like, I don't understand, I truly, truly, truly don't. So, I thought you was going between the cars, but yeah, I just don't understand this whole I gotta impress people nonsense. So that's just my personal opinion, but that's a high school mentality that some people grow into and some people grow out of. Stay in. Some people grow out of. It's all at this point a personal choice. So you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. The moral of the story is, before I get off here because I don't reach my destination, moral of the story is have your circle of people. Connect with people on a regular basis, and just ensure that those people are the ones that are trying to take your life to the next level, and that you can help them take their life to the next level, and they're not going to be a sponge, because nobody needs the extra bill in this life unless it's necessary, because anything that you do that involves having to spend more money, it's an extra bill. So it's like a video I shared earlier. As a man or a woman, if you're not adding value to somebody's life, love is a beautiful thing, and that's cool, and there's nothing wrong with love. But we're in a time frame now where, there used to be a time frame to say all you need is love. No, you need love and you need to add value to somebody's life, because if you are a drain to somebody's life, then what is your purpose? And this goes for the men and the women. If you are a drag to somebody's life and if you're devaluing somebody's life and not adding value to somebody's life as a friend or a relationship, then what is your purpose? You have none. On that note, family, do the great thiefy things like share and subscribe. Have a great day. Make money moves, or you're going to live bro like a fool. Do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channels. One, Larry's Anything Goes, LLC. Once again, Larry's Anything Goes, LLC. And my other YouTube channel, Patterson Properties, LLC. Take care.